Which one? The strength? And I love it. He said, strength you can stand on. I thought it fantastic. I still try to figure out a way I can steal it. But the thing is that I thought for a concrete company, some that you're trying to promote this product, I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. And it's this thing is that when we're looking at this goal, you're looking at this thing. What is your goals? What are your ambitions? What are your virtues that God gave you? Are you really aware that you are being judged by how you use your gifts? And the question is that if you're using your gift and God is giving you a platform, but yet from your platform you're launching a destruction, you realize who is going to be held accountable for all of your destruction? Yeah, you better tighten up. Because the thing is that you represent something. I told Jacob the other day, I said, I've really got to consider slowing down and slowing my driving. I tend to be somewhat aggressive. I know none of y'all do. And I said, because right now I can get away with it. What am I going to do when I got pinkies on the side of my phone number and I knock somebody off the side of the road and flip them off, keep on going?
Bad business.
Yeah, there's no bueno. Because kind of like this guy seen me yesterday. He said, you got one of your cars? I said, a long story, don't ask. He said, well, let me just take a picture of your shirt. And the thing is, he took a picture of my shirt. It's all out there. One of the lessons that I'm learning right now, and I'm still learning it, it's like I was telling Jacob the other day, he was talking about, these people said, well, I've quit smoking. No, you've not quit smoking. You paused. Well, I've started again. Exactly. He said, I've quit before. No, you've not quit before. You paused before. Quitting, Billy, means what? Quitting. Don't do it again. Pausing means
Take a break.
you quit. No, I paused. So the thing is that one of the phrases that I'm learning and I'm building upon is to not take it personal. This is business. I have to remember what I represent. True story. Jacob and I were going to Benton, and owner Wade Benton, I had planned to go up there and do the project. I knew it was going to take a couple hours to do it. Supposed to be there at 9, but somebody didn't have what they needed, so I had to go to Lowe's and Home Depot and everywhere else and find and get everything I need because I didn't have everything I need. So at 9:15, I'm driving down the road. I get a phone call. You Monty Farmer? Well, yeah, who are you? Well, I'm your 9 o'clock appointment. I'm like, okay, I'm heading your way. I said, somebody, I kind of made a joke of it. He didn't laugh. He's now mad. I'm thinking to myself, dude, I'm going to be there, a couple hours. He says, well, we've got to go. I'm like, okay, you're aware that, And they're thinking that it's going to take 5 minutes to do this job. Well, we got places to be. We got to go. Well, I'm coming to do your repairs. And he's just aggressive. And I get off the phone. Lance, I'm trying to cool down, trying to calm down, because I'm a redneck at nature. Okay? I am a redneck at nature. I am a jerk at nature. I thought of every reason in the world. And I finally narrowed it down. I kept hearing the word. The voice of reason says, okay, this is not personal. This is business. Don't take it personal. This is business. Don't take it personal. You represent a business. Don't take it personal. And I'm arguing back and forth because I done built it up, Billy. When I walk in there and the first word she says to me is, I was gone. I didn't care what she said. The first word, she hit me with attitude, I was gone. And voice of reason says, yeah, Monty, is that what you want to do? You've drove all the way to Benton and you're going to leave. You represent not just RPM, but you represent Pinky. You know who your boss is. She will chew you out. You cost her money. So I was nice, and she was like, ma'am, I said, you know, and I even almost to the point to where I was like, you know, we can reschedule this thing. I said, no, I'm not even going to offer her this chance. I said, ma'am, I said, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to get it done, because I knew that if I let myself dictate my actions, I would lose the face of our company. That's like for my vehicle. When I put the signs on the side of my truck, I got to slow my butt down. I got to use blinkers. I can't use my finger. And using my fingers usually pointed up. This is my middle one. Not really, I kidding. I just think there's a difference. Not really. But I'm sitting here and I'm going through all these things, and I said, you know, isn't it funny that if we will consider how we represent our company, but yet we will not consider how we represent God. If we put the same amount of effort into representing and to tie ourselves in with this whole concept of God, and to start putting these marks in the ground that says, okay, it's time. This is the point of this season right now. The point of this season right now is this. We are at that point where God says, I'm getting ready to do something. I'm getting ready to set y'all free. Are y'all ready to be set free? Are you ready? Are you ready for your life to change? But do you realize for your life to change, you got to go. AJ, are you happy?
Yes, sir.
Were you happy? Ma'am, are you happier? Was you happy? Wasn't the pot of gold, was it? Do you know why the grass is always greener on the other side?
You don't take care of your own grass.
Because they don't mow their yard and their septic tank's backed up. There's a reason why companies are like that. There's a reason why companies are always trying to hire people, because they always destroy people. Good companies that take care of their employees, they ain't looking for help. They got help.
That's right.
All that's being said is that this month, this time, this season is not about this or that or rabbits or all these different things. Yes, your butt should be aware. And then that way, when somebody comes to you and says, well, you know, you realize you're, well, yeah, I get that. But I ain't hung up at it. And even on the Sabbath, and he's like, you know about that? I was like, well, heck yeah, I know about that. He says, why do you do it? I said, well, this is how we do it. You know, we've always gone to church. We took a day out and we said, this is the day for the Lord. You know, I don't get hung up. And the thing is, I understand the whole point. But you know, like I told him, I believe that religion is like, I use the analogy of a rock crusher. You ever seen a rock crusher? So a rock crusher, they take all this rocks and they put it in there. And they have these big screens, don't they?
Yeah.
And they sift. And finally, the little bitty stuff, that's the very last thing. That's passed through all the tests. What percentage of the last stuff is the first stuff? It's a lot smaller, isn't it? Everything else is sifted. See, within Christianity, we've all got this point of sifting. We all got this point of like, well, and what is this sifting? This sifting is what you're unwilling to leave behind. It's what you're unwilling to sacrifice. God says, I'm going to purify you like a refiner does gold. He sits there, gold, man, he puts you on a hot temperature and he's boiling you, Billy, and he's getting all these impurities out of you. Because that's the only way it gets out of you. I told y'all this story when I shot myself in the foot with a crossbow. And they put Ajax on there and the Brillo pad and the brush and rammed it down through my toe and cleaned that sucker out. I passed out. But why? They had to get it clean. Because What happens to a wound that you don't get clean? Doesn't get better. It seals over. They say we bury the hatchet but leave the handle sticking out. It's still there. You still got it there. And so the thing is that with God, it's like the sieve. It goes up there, and some of us can't even get the concept of God. We can't get over this test. Well, can you believe in me when all these things? We want to believe in a God that's going to bail us out of everything. God didn't get your butt in debt. It ain't God's job to get you out of debt.
That's right.
God didn't give you lung cancer. You smoked.
Right.
God didn't get you in jail. You dealt drugs. God didn't get you in a divorce. You had an affair. You made a choice. But yet we expect God to bail us out. All of these are all sifters. We don't want to lose this. We don't want to give up that. When they had to leave Egypt, they could only carry what they had to carry with them. I remember The Jerk. Anybody watch the movie The Jerk?
Yeah.
All I need is this. All I need is this. Well, I gotta have this. And see, that is us. The more that we're unwilling to let go of, that's as close as we're going to get to God. But do you realize, like my Muslim friend said yesterday, Samani, I said, I don't understand why people live such a shallow life with God. I said, I do. He said, why? I said, because they're unwilling to give it up. What are you unwilling to give up? What will you not give up to chase after God? What's blocking you from God? I love the verse. Now, I've heard me say it. To him that overcometh, I will give to eat of the hidden manna. I believe that within the Bible, there is a voice hidden deep. That deep down in there, man, there is a knowledge and there is an awareness that goes beyond all things. But the whole story of the Bible, Billy, is about dumping issues out of your life. But yet, we don't want to. My preacher used to say this: what you tolerate, you deserve. Think about that. What you tolerate this existence, then guess what? You deserve it because you chose that existence. Imagine if y'all would wake up. Why it's so important to me that y'all wake up? Because y'all realize I feed off y'all. The very things that y'all ask for, it is part of my responsibility and my role that I'm sensitive to the will of God. And how many times have you ever been in church and the preacher says something that relates exactly to what you've been thinking? Do you realize why that happens? God made it happen. Somebody made the choice today to be God's voice. Somebody made the choice to hear God's voice. The rest of you are existing in this little... You may have been at a party and you're standing by yourself and all these other conversations going around, you're just sitting there going, yeah.
Do
you realize
talking to other people?
Do you realize that that's really what's going on? And the more, Emily, that you're seeking out God's voice, the more God wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that the guys like me that's sitting here in this chair, I stumble across something that God says, okay, this is what this person, here comes out. You know how many times that I'll say something that I ain't got a clue about? Seriously? Every Sunday. Every Sunday morning, I don't have a clue.
I'm writing it down.
That's easy to write down money, you ain't got a clue, and I'll tell you. But I do got a fish deal.
I got one too.
Shut up. I'm refilling yours.
I'll fish with it.
But the thing is that when you guys think about it in terms of this, the new traffic diversion is the church right down here. why are all them people going to that church? Because all them people at that church are sold out on that church. Am I wrong? Why are all the people sold out to go to New Life? Because they're committed, they're sold out to that. Why is our church? Why? I guess I could get Artie in his Sheriff Woody costume to stand out on the road and to stop traffic while you guys turn in. Would that count?
Dang right.
They got a policeman to control the traffic. And where are we at on Sundays? Why are we less?
Because they're chasing your dollars, brother.
But the thing is, Zeke, they're sold out to it.
That's,
They're sold, in other words, what I'm saying is they're sold to that vision and they're living it. They're telling other people about this vision. They're telling other people about this thing. They're sharing the message. What is our message? What is our vision? The advantage of this day is somewhere between March and April. Where are we at right now? Somewhere between March and April. God says, I don't care what anybody else says. Today is the first day of the month, the first day of the year. God, what was the calendar prior to this day? Good question, isn't it? Can you imagine God waking up one day and saying, your name's not AJ no more, it's Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie. From this point forward, your name's Ronnie. Did you know when you joined the French Foreign Legion that you sign up, you walk in, anybody to this day can walk up, except for me and you were old, can walk up to the gate of the French Foreign Legion. If you get in there, the minute you're there, they'll write down, and you go through your training, you pass all the tests, they'll write your name down, a new name. You've been given a new name.
but you give up your country too.
You give up everything.
Yeah, every
Check this out, though. This is what's interesting. They got a new name, a new identity. From now on, this is your new name. If you serve your time, do your job, go through this point, I can't remember how many years it was, they give you a new Social Security number to match your new name. You've been given a new identity. Imagine if Christians were sold out like that. You realize we've all been given a new name. We all want a new name. He says, to him that overcometh, I will give to eat of the hidden manna. And I will write on this stone a new name that no one knows. Think about that. We've all been given a new name. We've all been given a new identity. We've all been given this gift that we can walk in a new world. Today represents that time where God says, this is the first day. Our world should be centered around this time of the year, because this is the day that God said, this is the first day of the year. I am going to change. I don't care what's in the past. This is your new day. God said that. That would be crazy. If we actually lived that, we believed that, and start living it. And I thought to myself as I was driving around there, and I'm thinking to myself how I represent the company, and I hear these words, Billy, you know what the word said? What if you was that concerned about how you reflect me? Rut roll. You know, I'm more concerned with how I reflect the company, how I reflect these other things. And you know, I'm concerned with how I reflect God, as long as somebody don't make me mad. Push my buttons. Or I have to deal with stupid. Anything beyond that, I'm okay with. Sometimes I'll even talk God with you.